What happens when we die? Is death is the complete end of a person? Or is there something that continue beyond the body? The Kathopanishad begin with this powerful question. At the center of the story is Nachiketa, a young boy with an unusually thoughtful mind. Unlike others, he is not satisfied with ordinary answer. He wants to understand the deepest truth. Nachiketa's father, Vajasravas, performed a great sacrifice. He promised to give away his possession. But Nachiketa noticed something strange about the gift being offered. His father is giving away cows that are old, weak, and no longer useful. Nachiketa realized that a sacrifice should involve genuine giving, not merely giving away things that have little value. Nachiketa began questioning his father. He asked, "Father, to whom will you give me?" His father remained silent, but Nachiketa asked again, and then a third time. Finally, irritated by his son's repeated question, his father says, "I give you to death." The words are spoken in anger, but Nachiketa takes them seriously. Nachiketa decided to go to Yama, the Lord of Death. He is not running away from life. Instead, he wants to understand what death truly means. Nachiketa reached Yama's house, but Yama is away. The boy waited there for 3 nights without food or proper hospitality. Finally, Yama returned and see his remarkable guest. Yama is concerned because Nachiketa has waited for 3 nights. So he offered the boy 3 wishes or boon as compensation for his waiting. Nachiketa's first request is about his father. He wanted his father to lose his anger, recognize him again, and welcome him peacefully when he returned home. For his second boon, Nachiketa asks about the fire sacrifice that lead to heaven, a place where there is no fear, hunger, old age, or sorrow. Yama explained the sacred fire ritual to Nachiketa. Because the boy understood it so well, Yama says this fire will be remembered by Nachiketa's name. Now, Nachiketa asks his most important question. He says that when a person dies, some people believe something remains, while others believe nothing remains. Please teach me the truth. Yama knows this is difficult question. He tried to persuade Nachiketa to choose something else. He offered wealth, long life, children, animals, kingdoms, and worldly pleasure. But Nachiketa is not interested. He understands that wealth and pleasure cannot last forever. Even a long human life eventually ends. So this thing cannot be answered his deepest question. Nachiketa has already made his choice. He wants knowledge, not possession. He wants to understand what lies beyond death, rather than spend his life chasing temporary pleasure. Yama now reveals a central teaching. Human beings constantly face 2 paths. Shreyas, what is truly beneficial, and Preyas, what is immediately pleasant. The pleasant path attracts us quickly. The beneficial path may require discipline and patience. The wish choose what leads towards lasting good, while others become trapped by temporary pleasure. Yama prays Nachiketa because he has rejected wealth and pleasure for the sake of truth. He has chosen the difficult path of knowledge instead of the easy path of desire. Yama explained that many people live without asking deeper questions. They become attached to wealth, status, pleasure, and ordinary desire, believing this thing will provide permanent happiness. Now, Yama begin revealing the deepest truth. Beyond the changing body is the Atman, the self. It's not an ordinary object that we can see touch, or measure. The self is described as unborn and eternal. The body changes and eventually dies, but the deepest self is not destroyed in the same way as physical thing. But knowing this intellectually is not enough. Yama explained that the self is subtle and difficult to understand. It is discovered by those who sincerely seek truth with a disciplined mind. To make this clear, Yama giving Nachiketa a famous example. Imagine that your body is a chariot. The self is the passenger traveling inside it. The intellect is the charioteer, responsible for directing the journey. The mind is like the reins, helping control the movement of the senses. The senses are compared to horses. Our eyes, ear, tongue, skin, and other senses constantly pull the mind towards different objects and experiences. If the mind is weak and the intellect lacks understanding, the senses run whenever they want. The person becomes controlled by desire instead of controlling them. But when the intellectual is clear and the mind is well controlled, the senses become disciplined. The chariot moves steadily towards its destination. The metaphor gives us a practical lesson. Our life is a journey, and our senses provide constant distraction. To reach the highest goal, we need awareness, discipline, and clear understanding. Yama then takes the teaching deeper. The senses are powerful, but the mind is higher than the senses. Beyond the mind is the intellect, and beyond the intellect lies the deeper self. This means that spiritual knowledge requires an inward journey. Instead of constantly chasing external objects, we must gradually turn our attention toward the consciousness behind our experience. Yama compared this journey to walking on the edge of a sharp razor. The path is difficult, but it is possible for someone who develops discipline, clarity, and determination. The self is not something we discover by searching outside. It is present within us, yet hidden by confusion, desire, distraction, and attachment. Desire constantly pulls the mind outward. We want possession, recognition, pleasure, and security. But satisfying one desire often creates another, keeping the mind restless. The wise person learns to observe desire without becoming their servant. This does not mean rejecting life. It means understanding what is temporary and what is valuable. Yama teaches that the self is present within the heart of every living being. It is subtle and difficult to perceive. Yet it is closer to us than anything we can possess. The Upanishad also point towards Om, the sacred syllable. Om becomes a powerful symbol and support for meditation on the highest reality. Yama teaching is not simply about collecting information. The goal is transformation. A person must become capable of seeing reality differently through disciplined understanding. The Upanishad then describe reality as something deeply ordered. Everything we experience belongs to a larger structure, whose ultimate foundation lies beyond ordinary perception. A striking image appears. A cosmic tree whose roots are above and branches extend below. The image suggests that the visible world depends upon a deeper unseen source. The teaching continues beyond the individual mind and intellectual towards the highest reality. The goal is to understand the deepest foundation of existence rather than remain trapped in appearance. Ordinary life contains fear because everything we possess can change or disappear. We fear losing our body, relationship, possession, identity, and future. According to him, realization the self changes his relationship with fear. When we understand what is deeper than temporary thing, we no longer depend entirely on them for our identity. This realization also leads towards freedom from sorrow. Life may still contain difficulties, but the person discovers a deeper dimension that is not dependent on every changing event. The Upanishad therefore emphasize self-control. The senses must be guided, the mind must be steady, and the intellect must learn to distinguish truth from temporary attraction. The teaching is not mere theoretical knowing the self, means realizing it deeply. This realization changes how a person understands the body, mind, desire, life and death. Nachiketa represents the ideal seeker, because he refused to exchange truth for pleasure. Even when offered extraordinary reward, he remained focused on his original question. His question is still relevant today. We may have money, technology, entertainment and comfort, but no question remains: what is the deepest meaning of our existence? The story gives us a remarkable idea. Death itself becomes Nachiketa's teacher. Instead of avoiding the subject of death, Nachiketa faced it directly and learned from it.